Welcome to the Age Gracefully Show with Dr. Michael Grossman, the well-known anti-aging stem cell and regenerative medicine specialist, best-selling author, and founder of the OC Wellness Clinic in Irvine, California. Each week, he shares the latest information to help you look and feel your best so you age gracefully. And here's your host, Dr. Michael Grossman.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Grossman. I am an anti-aging physician, and I'm happy to talk to you today about the way to stay youthful, the keys to reversing the aging process. I've written a book on reversing aging called The Vitality Connection, 10 Practical Ways to Optimize Your Health and Reverse the Aging Process. I'd like to spend a few minutes today looking at the big picture of reversing aging. We can understand the aging process as like a chain link. So if the chain has different links in it, each link is critical, or if one link is weak, then the chain breaks. And if the other links are really strong, it doesn't really do it for you because the chain is going to break. So what we need to do when we imagine and understand how to maintain youthfulness and our health, we have to understand that the weakest link in the chain is our downfall. So when I describe the different links in the chain, the one that you pay least attention to and the one you have the most problem with is the one you need to work on. So let's think about what these chain links are in reversing aging and maintaining our health and youthfulness. So one of the things we have to think about is our physical structure of our arteries and the health of our arteries. Heart disease can cause us to age and is one of the leading causes of death in our country. So how do we know if our arteries are doing well or not? Well, we don't want to wait for them to clog up and we need to have some bypass surgery or some major thing. We want to work on it before it becomes a big problem. We can begin to see the aging process in our arteries first by stiffening. The arteries get stiffer. And once they become stiffer, then later they become thicker, and then they calcify, and then they clog up. So we want to catch this process really early so that we can take action steps to reverse it. So one of the things that we can do is we have a technology that looks at artery stiffness, flexibility. And this is a simple thing, but the sensor on your finger takes 10, 15 minutes, and we get a clear reading of your flexibility of your arteries. And this is way before they clog. If we find it getting stiffer, we have natural things that make a huge difference to reverse this process. Nitric oxide, we have H-colic, we have a variety of other nutritional approaches that are very, very helpful. Next thing to think about with the arteries is that you can see the thickening of the arteries, particularly in the carotid arteries. We can measure what we call intimal thickness, the thickness of the artery itself. When that starts getting thicker, that's a sign that we're going to have clogging later. And we can actually see the clogging when it occurs on ultrasound of the carotid arteries. But the thickening will occur first, and that we also can see on the ultrasound. Then we can get CAT scans of the coronary arteries in the heart. The CAT scan will show calcium deposits in the heart, which occur once we get the thickening, and then you get calcification, and then later you're going to get clogging. So the clogging is the last thing that we want to have happen. We would like to get this first, all these early signs taken care of before it becomes a big problem. So that's for your arteries, and you all know about blood pressure. You want to keep it low so that you don't get all these kind of changes later on in your arteries. Now, other things to look at. We have prediabetes. We can tell years before people get diabetes that they're going to develop it. We can measure the average blood sugar over the last 2 months with the hemoglobin A1C measures. You want to get that tested from your doctor every year, see where your numbers are. And if they become not so good, when they get above 5.6, it's not so good. Get a 6.0, that's beginning of diabetes. You want to see where it is early on and take action steps. So many action steps to take to help prediabetes. There's nutritional approaches, herbal approaches, all kinds of nutrients, as well as changing diet and exercise. But you want to get this test. Very, very important test to get. Next thing to think about will be hormones. How are your hormones now compared to when you were youthful? When your hormones get lower, this is going to promote the aging process. We can keep people youthful by replacing the hormones you had when you were young with natural human hormones. So for women, you get estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone getting lower as you get older. And it happens very quickly when women go into menopause. Men, it happens slower, but it happens. So for men, when they go into andropause, it's a slower process, but they will lose their testosterone. When men lose testosterone, they get tired, they get weak, their muscles don't work like they used to, they lose libido and lose brain clarity and enthusiasm to accomplish things. When women go into menopause, which happens much faster for them, they don't sleep good, they get irritable, they get moody, they lose their bone strength, and they lose their muscle strength, stamina, endurance, and they lose libido. And so these things are easily replaced, and it makes a huge difference in the aging process. Now, why is testosterone so helpful in the aging process? Let's look at what comes on, what happens with men and women. We find that men and women, as they get older, the quality of their relationships is the most important part of longevity. So when we look for longevity over the age of 50, we find the most important factor is the quality of your relationships. That's what creates longevity. Not so much your cholesterol, not so much whether you're a smoker, but the quality of your relationships. How do you have good quality relationships? Well, that's a whole complex of things. For married people, it's very important to have a good marriage relationship. And of course, the hormones are a big factor there. When you are intimate, for men, sexual intimacy is so important in feeling close to their married partner. And there are so many different facets of how to have a good relationship. My wife and I teach classes in creating that high quality relationship. Our classes are called Falling in Love Forever. We have 5 2-hour classes, and we teach you skills to communicate together, skills to make requests in nice ways, skills to be able to talk about what hurts you without creating arguments, skills to understand why you're so different from each other, and how to understand what those differences are, and how to appreciate and have compassion for each other's sensitivities. So these are skills that are very important to create good relationships, and that's going to be fundamental to the aging process. Now we have other things we do for the aging process, and meditation is a very, very important factor in staying youthful. We find that people who meditate, they feel happier, more rested, their brains rejuvenate from sleeping at nighttime, they feel better, they're happier, and they are less stressed. When you're less stressed, blood pressure is better, your cholesterol is better, and your hormones are more balanced, and you're going to live longer. There's so many studies of meditation showing that people live longer and feel better over their lifetime. So, and I teach classes of meditation, and you're all welcome to be involved with my classes on meditation. You can go to drmichaelmeditationsecrets.com. So it's www.drmichaelmeditationsecrets.com. Go there, you can sign up, classes are free, we'll enjoy those classes. I've been teaching meditation for 40 years. It's a very important link in the chain. So here we have all these different links that we're talking about that are so important for longevity. There are other links in the chain, your digestion and your intestinal health. So are you having diarrhea, constipation, gas, bloating, food allergies, sensitivities? Very important factor is the inflammation factor. And we have the factor of the arteries, pre-diabetes, your quality of your relationships, and meditation, keeping the stress levels down. So these are things to think about. It's a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching the Age Gracefully Show with Dr. Michael Grossman. Join us next week for another informative discussion to help you age gracefully. Be sure to visit us at ocwellness.com.